Please breathe in nice and slowly. Exhale slowly out the nostrils. Breathing in through the nose. Slowly exhaling it out the nose. And again, breathing in through the nose. Opening the mouth, gently sigh the breath out. So we start with prostration, which is the first limb in the preliminaries to meditation. We invite into our space a holy being, your deity, your higher self, whichever you want to call it. It could be a Buddha, it could be Christ, it could be Krishna, Shiva, Muhammad, whoever you resonate with as an enlightened being, as a being that has perfected themselves and is free from suffering. You imagine that they're sitting with you, very close to you actually. Maybe they have their hand on your heart, or they are touching your knee, and they're smiling at you, and you welcome them. And we can say, oh, I really admire your wonderful qualities. Thank you for coming to me today. And it's said in Buddhist Tantra that the more that we visualize such a perfect being, the more that we call this perfect being into our lives. And we eventually begin to see them for real. So it's a generation phase Tantra. And then, as we would make a good friend an offering that has joined us or has come to visit us, we make them a beautiful offering in our mind of flowers, incense, perfumed water, food, light, and anything you can imagine that's just your favorite thing or your favorite image. They say that the most amazing thing that we can offer our teacher is our practice. And say, hey, look, I did some practice this week. I'm really proud. Here is my practice. And of course, in the last week, there's a few things that perhaps didn't go quite so well. Some moments where we lost our composure, we lost our mindfulness, perhaps we lost our ethics and our kindness. So we can think maybe of one or two things that we just don't feel too great about, and not to feel guilty, but just to reflect. We share this with our deity, our holy angel, and say, well, I'm not exactly proud of this, but I'd like to remove the power or the energy of this seed, and I regret it. I will try my best not to do it again. I take refuge in you as being a higher power or my higher self. I take refuge in the process of karma, knowing that it works. And finally, I can think of some antidote, an apology. I can make it right. I can fix something. What's the plan? The remedy. As our loving angel gazes at us with a smile, we smile back and we feel joyful and we rejoice. We rejoice at the beautiful things that we've done as well. And say, wow, I'm so proud of something I did in the last week, which was really beneficial. I really helped someone. It might have been myself, but it was a good thing. I did my practice. I did my yoga. I studied. I helped someone with an issue. I made someone a cup of tea. Whatever it may be that you can remember in the last week. This is the act of rejoicing. And it's part of being grateful and appreciative of what you have and your life and who you are and your deeds. And as we do this, we replant a wonderful karmic seed just by thinking about it. We can do it over and over. And then we ask our holy being to please stay in our lives and not to leave, but remain with us in this space throughout our day. And may we see our angel in others and in events and situations, and always be open to learn, no matter how pleasant or painful it may be. We ask them to teach us to turn the wheel of the Dharma as the Buddha did. And they agree, and they promise they will. And then they start to shrink in size. Their glowing light frame body just sort of starts to grow smaller until they're the size of your thumb. And they fly up to the top of your crown. And they sit there for a while. And then slowly they dissolve into your crown and move through your central channel, moving through your body, illuminating glorious and wondrous light of healing and empowerment as they move through you. And you've made a special chamber at your heart space in the center of your chest. And they arrive there and they shine from your heart. And for as long as you can keep mindful, that's where we will keep them. Whenever we need to connect to them, they're there in our hearts. Let's take in a lovely deep inhalation, breathing in. And exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Okay, lovely. Yeah, I've just been feeling like earthquakes going on. Like, I don't know if anyone in Joburg is feeling it, like a ground shaking 3 times in a row. No? Okay, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Some weird stuff's going on this side. Denise is trying to get in. So, are there any questions from last week's session? I mean, we can do a quick recap if you like, or if anybody else wants to do the recap, that's also fine. Any questions that you may have, speak now or forever hold your peace, or truth, or what do they say in weddings? Why would they, I mean, has anyone ever stood up and said, no, I disagree with this wedding? You only see that in the soap operas, eh? Hi, Denise, sorry I missed your yoga class this morning, but I had to get to IMM. I'm giving a talk here today, otherwise I would have come. So, no problem. Okay, let's do a recap. So we went over the 4 laws of karma, okay? Number 1, karma is definite. If you plant apple pips, you're going to get an apple tree. If you plant thorns or thistles or blackjacks, you're going to get weeds. If you plant loving kindness, you're going to get happiness and pleasure and loving kindness back. If you plant trouble and pain, that's what we're going to get back. And then what we experience is a result of what we've planted, okay? And not just in this life, but in other lives as well. And when the causes and conditions come together, then that karma ripens, okay? So it's a process. The second one is karma is exponential. A tiny little karma can turn into a big tree, like a little acorn turning into a big oak tree. Number 3, if you haven't done the karma, you won't get a result. And number 4, if you have done the karma, you will get a result, okay? So those 4 laws are actually really, really important to learn and to study. Then we looked at the 4 parts to a karmic weight, okay? So I think, it's your intention is 90% of the karmic weight, the object, number 2, number 3, the action, number 4, the rejoicing. And I always use the example of the car guard. You know, you see the car guard, your intention is to be generous. The car guard is the object. The action is giving them 10 Rand. And as you drive away, you feel happy. Okay, that is a perfect karmic planting. It's perfect seed planting. A negative one would be, you see the car guard, you feel annoyed, you don't want to give them anything, you get in your car, you wheel spin out of the parking lot, and you feel happy. Yes, I got away before they got to me, you know. So that would be a negative seed. And then did we discuss the mixed karmic seed last week? Okay, so your intention, let's say you love all beings, right? And you love, I struggle with Hardy-Dars. Love-hate relationship with them. But I must say, I did save a baby Hardy-Dar a few months ago, and it was really cute. I took it into the animal sanctuary. I couldn't believe it. They're actually very cute when they're so small. And it kind of changed my mind a little. So I think maybe it was a Buddha in disguise, a little baby Hardy-Dar. But so say you're driving along, you don't want to harm anything, but all of a sudden a Hardy-Dar flies into your car, okay? And you stop, you get out, and the Hardy-Dar is dying, right? Your intention is not to kill Hardy-Dars, okay? Number 2, there's the Hardy-Dar, the object. Number 3, the action of killing. And number 4, you're looking at the dying Hardy-Dar and going, oh no, this is so bad. This is terrible, okay? So then that negative karma is affected by your positivity or your kindness. You did not want to cause harm, but yet harm was caused. Now the Hardy-Dar had the karma to die, okay, to be hit. And you had the karma to kill it. But the ripening of that karma could be a mosquito bite, okay? Maybe later, okay? But your intention and your sorrow is planting a really good and strong positive seed that could result in good health for you, okay? So that's kind of how it would go in terms of karmic ripening. Are there any questions around this?
Yeah, Mark, I've got a question. I remember many, many, many years ago, you said to me, never give with a black heart. And you also said to me that when you give something like money, imagine that you're, giving them everything that they would ever need, the person, right?
Yeah.
So my question is around giving. The area where I live, there are quite a few people that need money on a regular basis, and so I've chosen to support certain of them for certain reasons, but there are 1 or 2 of them that annoy me. They really annoy me, and I don't want to give. And so, remembering what you've said, I'm hesitant, but I'm wondering, what I try to do is I try to say, okay, I'm noticing that I'm resistant to this. If I want to see all beings as equal, then that's not a good thing. So I just take a couple of deep breaths. I'll go and I'll get the money, and I will say, okay, I am going to now give this money as a gesture to me being more open to being able to give in the future. And then I do that. And I remember last week when we were talking about this, I wondered if that is a wise thing to do, or if I should be withholding.
Yeah. It's a great question. Thanks, Kegs. So do you feel threatened or almost feel like you could be in danger by making contact with such people? No.
No, I don't. There's just something about, there are two of them actually, and I personally, I think they're not well. They're really not well, mentally speaking, and I'm uncomfortable around them. So it's not about them. Okay. It's definitely not about them. It's about me. And there's some prejudice. I know there's some, I don't understand it, but I know that there's some prejudice, and I feel that I want to move through that, and that I want to have the choice to give rather than feeling either obliged or resistant towards it. Yeah.
No, it's a great question. So I just want to say, first of all, the Dalai Lama was in South Africa, I think in 2004, and we went to go and see him in the auditorium, and it was really wonderful. And someone put their hand up and said, Your Holiness, in South Africa, we have a lot of crime, and we feel that some characters are unsavory and might cause us harm. And if they knock on our door, should we open our door and give to them? And the Dalai Lama said, no, rather open the window and give to them through the window. And keep a big stick handy. So we all laughed. I mean, it was hilarious, but it was such a simple answer, So that's why I asked, don't ever put yourself in a place of danger in being generous. I used to go into the middle of Hillbrow and hand out food, and it caused riots, and actually people were hitting each other for the things, and it was chaos. We caused a riot in downtown Joburg, and I would never do that again because it was dumb, So I think you got to gauge for yourself, are these people, they're not harmful, and yes, you are projecting them as well, as being that feeling of discomfort is your karma, right? An enlightened being, when they look around, they don't see strange people. They just see other Buddhas, So our reality, whatever is appearing to us, is a result of our karma. And I think it's very wise that if you do engage in giving them, there's a beautiful text called the Lojong, which we will study, and it's a very difficult poem to study. We actually have to memorize it. It's a very long stanza. And the Lojong's all about, when you see a difficult person, when you see a person of ill repute, treat this person as if you found a precious gem, because those are the ones that you need to work with, whether they're an irritating colleague or a family member that's driving you nuts. Those people are more precious in your spiritual path, actually, than your close friends, because they give you more of a chance to purify karma, not to see them. Geshe Michael, my teacher, says, if you want to get rid of someone in your life, you don't punch them, you don't fight with them, you love them and you care for them, and they will go away or they will change. He says, you want to get rid of bad people, love them, serve them, and they will disappear. They will get a promotion. Oh, there's another earthquake. Sure, there's some funny stuff going on here. Yeah, if you want to get rid of bad people in your life, just generate the karma, not and try and be. I mean, I did this with my business partner. I really didn't like him. I decided that I was going to see him as a holy being, as my guru, and I got rid of him, and he disappeared. And then I got a job full time with Mindful Revolution, doing what it is that I love. So the karma of serving my enemy was so big that within a short space of time, I got my dream job. That's what I believe, you know. So I don't know if that does it answer or help in some way.
Yeah, I think because I try to do that too. I try to remind myself that that could be the Buddha, and imagine if I denied him or them.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just going to continue with that, and because my heart does soften over time. It does. So I think I'm just going to continue. So thanks for that, John.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the stories of the Mahasiddhas that lived I'm talking about Naropa, Milarepa, Tilopa. These are ancient yogis, and whenever they met their guru appeared as something really bad, like something awful. You know, they were manifesting as like killing fish or an old hag or something like that. You know, and it was really funny because they never came as this like holy angel. They always came as this sort of decrepit looking creature that the yogi would see past him and go, I see through your disguise. You know, I know that you are the holy guru that I've been looking for. You know, so even Lady Naguma appeared as a wrathful demon to one of her main students, and tried to frighten him and scare him away. So it's really quite interesting when you really look at the stories of how an enlightened being approaches you. Sometimes it's not always as a pleasant looking person. It could be as a very strange or wrathful. But please look after yourselves. Don't hurt yourself. And the next point is, if you give something, make sure when you give it, you're not going to regret it. Because then that's a negative karma. Okay? So the karma of giving is awesome, but then if you regret it, that karma becomes negative. There's a story where one Tibetan master, what's his name, Ken Rinpoche, a student of his gave him her house. She was so in awe of his teachings. She said, here are the keys for my house. I want you to have it. And then a week later, she was sleeping in her car, and they found her and they said, are you okay? And she was like, I really regret giving Rinpoche my house. You know, and that's really bad. So anyway, she got her house back, but it was a silly act of generosity, you know. So only give if it makes you feel happy and that you're not going to regret it. Okay. So it's important not to regret any of your good deeds. Even if the other person didn't like it or got hurt by it, that's their stuff, okay? Don't regret your goodness. Don't regret any good deed, because then you just cancel out that karma, okay? Does it make sense? And if there's an object that's going to make you regret your giving, then don't give to them. Are there any other questions? Okay. I mean, for example, my ex-business partner, I served him. I looked after him. He was ungrateful. He was a thief. He was stealing from me. And then I had a moment where I thought, why did I serve this person? Why did I look after them? I'm so naive. And then I thought, no, that's a worldly thought you just had there, you know. Your devotion to your enemy created the life that you've been dreaming of. Don't regret it, because that karma will then come to an end and you'll be back to square one. Okay? Yeah. And it's the same goes with your ex-partners or, you know, your ex-bosses or your mom or your dad or family members or something like that. Don't regret your kindness for them, even if they did not understand it or receive it well. Don't regret. Don't regret. Okay? Yeah. Let's unpack why. Any other questions? Everyone happy? Everyone happy? Yay! Let's do some secret sunrise, Laura. You're going to have to lead us in a session, okay, where we all dance. Yeah, beautiful. Cool. So, yeah, I know Catherine went to Ultra last weekend. I'm still jealous. That must have been awesome. Okay, so so just remember, your intention is 90% of the karmic weight. Okay, that's a lot, according to the Buddha. 90%. That is a lot. So we always try to have a good motivation when we do something, because if karma is 90% of that, and obviously the definition of karma is movement of the mind and what it motivates. That's the scholastic definition. So the intention is born in the mind, right? And that is 90% of the karma. So you can sit and think about how you want to, you know, voodoo doll your boss and fantasize about it. You know, you're basically 90% of the way to killing them, right? Don't do it, okay? Don't do it. I think there was an interesting question on Monday's group so say that your country goes to war. Let's say Russia, okay? Russia invades Ukraine. And people are dying, children are dying, you know, it's a real mess. But as a Russian, you feel good about it. You feel, oh, this is the best thing that could have happened. Then you accumulate the karma for the murder of innocent people if you support and rejoice in it. Okay? So I know at Diamond Mountain, when I was there in March in Arizona, it was so much fun to hang out with really truly realized people. So when they pay their taxes, they write a little letter to say, please do not use my tax money for weapons and guns and ammunition. Okay? So they are trying to absolve themselves from the karma of supporting the military machine. Now, of course, their money is going to be used for military, right? No one's going to read that note. They're going to say, what a bunch of stupid hippies, you know, like, look at this, big fat joke. But from their intention, they have made it very clear that they do not want their money to be used for violence, okay? It's that subtle. Karma is that subtle, okay? Where are you spending your money? Who are you giving your money to? And if you support something with your cash, you are supporting it with your karma as well. Okay? So if you buy, I don't know, drugs, hardcore drugs. I know these days, you know, you don't even know what's good for you or bad for you, because now they're saying that MDMA and psilocybin and all these things are actually LSD. They're working on people with depression. I mean, you know, a while ago, you would have thought you were really naughty for taking these things. Now it's kind of very controlled, and it could be of benefit, right? So karma has changed. Karma has shifted with these particular objects. But if you know, like something like heroin or crack, that if you support that, if you grow that, that's going to cause, if you buy that, you are fueling more drug wars and people dying from overdose. You know, even alcohol, right? Alcohol, where does the money go? Are you supporting alcoholism by buying alcohol? I mean, I know that might be a bit extreme, right? But it's something to think about. It's something to think about. Where are we spending our money? Where are we putting our energy? Okay. Okay. So, 5 heavy karmic objects. I don't think we did this last week, did we? What are 5 karmic objects that are really heavy, okay? Not in a bad way, in a good way, or it could be a bad way. Pam, sorry, did you want to say something?
I guess you said that often serving someone is a very good karmic object.
Yeah, serving someone. Yeah. So, I mean, Kerry said the right thing. You don't know who anybody is. And my teachers are always saying, you don't know if that person is doing great things in the world and looking after a whole bunch of other people. You don't know what their intention is. You don't know that they could be a realized being. They might be a Buddha, that disgusting beggar, you know. So we can never know who is a heavy karmic object. That's what they say first off the bat. But see, because we're limited by our projections, right? Our karma is projecting those people. And if those people were existing in such a way, then everyone would see them in that way. But as we know, that's not true. Think of your enemy. You know, people love them. They have mom and dad. They have children, maybe. They see them as beautiful, as wonderful. You don't. That proves that that person is not an arsehole from their own side. Okay? It can't be. They're an arsehole to you. And it's because of your karma. So that just proves karma. Because if people were self-existent, everyone would see them in the way. They would walk into the donut shop and the teller would say, oh, look, there's an arsehole. You know? But they don't. Okay? Their dog would go, here comes the arsehole again. I mean, no, the dog would run up to them and lick their face and love them. Okay? So it's coming from us. So if we change us, we change the world according to karma. And that's a big change. That's a big change. You literally change the entire world because the whole world is just existing for you. And we have how many people on the call? 10 people. We all are experiencing our own. Oh, there's a cat. 11. 11 people, 11 beings experiencing reality quite differently. Okay? Quite differently. Therefore, reality is subjective and relative, as Einstein said, is relative. Time is relative. Time is relative. Think about time. Time is just a karmic projection. When you are having so much fun and you're dancing the night away and you look at your watch and it's 3 a.m. and you go, oh my God, how did that happen? You know, time just boom, went like this. Or if you waiting outside your boss's office because you know you're in trouble and each second feels like an hour, you know, or you're in extreme pain, time just doesn't move, you know, or longing. So therefore, Einstein said time is relative. It depends on how you feel about it. Okay? It doesn't actually exist. Time is karma ripening. That's all. There's no time. Day and night is karma ripening. For you to see the sun is karma ripening. Think about there's beings that live underground. They've never seen the sun. They don't even know what the sun is. You know, Andrea, does your cat know what the sun is? Probably thinks it's like a big ball of wool or something, you know? Doesn't know what it is. Okay? Maybe not. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know. But that's the thing. We just don't know. So there's 5 heavy karmic objects. Number 1, a person in need. Okay? A person that has a great need. So they knock on your door and they say, listen, I need your help. Otherwise, I'm going to die tonight. I need your help. You know, my mind goes to the Jews in the Second World War. They knock on a German family's door and they say, please hide us. And that family says, okay, we will, you know. So that is a big need. And that's a huge, if the family turns them away, that's a terrible karma because their lives depended on it. Okay. a person in great need or people in great need. Now you could say everybody's got great need in South Africa. Kerry's got them all around, but will they die tonight if you don't help them? Okay? You've got to kind of use that reasoning. Number 2, great karmic objects are your mother and your father. There's another earthquake. It's weird. I'm feeling weird stuff going on where I am. So your mom and dad. Now, I don't know, a lot of us have strained relationships with our parents. I do with my mother. But as much as I have difficult with her, I have to serve her. I have to look after her. I have to pay her bills. I have to make sure that she's safe and okay and happy. Okay? She is a high karmic object for me. If I serve her, it's very good karma for me. Okay? If I don't, it's negative karma, very bad. Okay? So your mom and your dad, the reason is, say your mom is an absolute nightmare, horrible. She still gave birth to you. She still carried you in her womb for 9 months. She still fed you, looked after you, and educated you. Okay? That means she's a high karmic object. Doesn't matter what she's done since then. She is, and so was your dad. Okay?
Mark, can I ask you something on that one? My parents, have both passed on.
Yeah.
And age has taught me that I wasn't particularly good to them or appreciative of them.
Yeah.
Can I still fix that, or is it just one of those things that's too late? They're gone. I can't change how I treated them.
Oh no, you can fix it. Definitely. 100%.
How do you fix it?
I will tell you after these 5 points. Okay. 100%. Don't have any guilt for that, Donna. It's just, you didn't know, and now you know. So if you know, good. But also if you know, that's bad, because if you know and you still do it, the karma is heavier because now you have the knowledge. Ignorance is bliss in a way. We can create karma ignorantly. But as soon as we have knowledge and we still do it, then it's worse. Okay? So you were ignorant. Now you understand karma. Okay? Now it's better. Now you have wisdom. So you can fix it. Number 3, a person that has helped you. So obviously that includes your mom and dad, but people that help you, like a benefactor, someone helped you financially, someone gave you a job, I don't know, they helped you in any way. They are a high karmic object. Okay? They are a high karmic object. Maybe they helped you with your health. They are high karmic object. Could be a doctor, could be a nurse, high karmic objects. People that have helped you. Could be your partner, could be your dogs. Okay? High karmic objects. Number 4, someone who has taught you. A teacher is a high karmic object. So, and that includes school teachers, varsity teachers, anybody that's taught you anything that's helped you, okay, that's made you better, is a high karmic object. Yoga teachers, Denise, is she still here? These people, very high karmic objects. Personal trainers, okay?
I am still here. I just don't know why my video is not coming on.
I'm
trying everything.
I'm seeing a strange folder,
I don't know why, but I can see everyone else and that, but I'm still here and I'm listening to you.
Lovely. And then lastly, someone who's doing good in the world. So, I sometimes visit the Dalai Lama's website. Where is he today? Oh, he's teaching in Los Angeles. Awesome. The Dalai Lama's in LA. Wow. I rejoice, good karmic object. Who else can I think about? Oh, like Imtiaz Suleiman, from The Gift of the Givers. What's he up to? I rejoice in his work. He's not corrupt. He's really doing so much for South Africa. I really feel good about him. So then if you rejoice in these things, if you help these people, your karma it's a big seed that gets planted. Okay, and we can become enlightened way quicker Because now we understand how to garden. Now we understand hydroponics. Now we know how to make a small seed into a big result, because karma is exponential. It's the same with negative. So if you don't help a person in need, if you don't look after your mom and dad, if you don't look after people that have helped you, if people that have taught you, and if you diss people that are doing good in the world, then not good. Okay, bad, negative, big negative, bad karma. A lot of suffering resulting from that. Okay, so let's get into Donna's get out of jail free card. Okay, it's called the 4 powers. See the 5s and the 4s and the 3s and the 2s. Buddhists love these lists. Lama David is going to be publishing a book. Pam, sorry, I mixed up objects. What creates good karma? Okay, so number 1, a person in great need. Number 2, your mother and father. 3, a person who has helped you. 4, someone taught you. 5, someone who's doing good in the world. Those are the 5. So check them out, find them, work with them, Really, you want to get your ass out of samsara and become a Buddha to save all beings. This is how you're going to do it. Find these people, serve them, look after them. Okay, very good. When my teacher was in 3-year retreat in the Arizona desert, I used to try and create funds. I'd get people to donate for his food to keep him going. That was like the best thing I could have done, because he's in a 3-year retreat, trying to become enlightened, trying to see emptiness directly. Okay, 4 powers. I'm running out of time. 4 powers of purification. Number 1, the power of regret. That was not good. I use the example of going out and drinking too much tequila, and then you wake up the next morning and you go, oh, that was bad. Shouldn't have done that. Okay, it's that sort of regret, that you've taken poison and now it's going to harm you. That you've planted a negative seed and it's going to harm you. Okay, you feel regret, not guilt. The Dalai Lama doesn't even, when they asked the Dalai Lama, there's a word guilt. He said, what's that? I've never heard of it. Guilt, what is it? The Tibetans don't even have a word for guilt. They say, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you carry it around for years and years? Just put it down. Regret, that wasn't good. Number 2, I won't do that again. Refusal, I call it the 4 R's. Okay, we didn't do this last week, eh? The 4 R's. Okay, regret, refusal, I won't do it again. Okay, now here's a bit of a problem, because maybe Steve has upset you, Laura, and you have an argument and you decide, I'm never going to get angry with Steve again. And that's impossible, right? So you could say, okay, I said some bad stuff to Steve, I regret it, and I'm not going to get angry with him for another day or 2. So you set a time period, okay? If you say never again, you're going to break it, and that's going to cause negative karma. The 4 powers of purification, purifying karma, Denise. Number 1, regret. Number 2, I won't do it again or for a certain period. Number 3, I take refuge, which ultimately means I believe in karma and I understand how it works. You can take refuge in the Buddha. So by taking refuge in the Buddha, you're basically saying, Buddha, you're right. You're absolutely right. This is how it works. That is also a purifier, because it's the truth. You're taking refuge in the truth. And number 4, the remedy. Okay, what am I going to do to fix this? The antidote. Now, Donna, in your situation, you can make offerings and you can give stuff away, be generous, and you can dedicate it to your mom and dad. And that would be the remedy, because they're not here anymore. You can light candles for them. You can burn incense for them. You can even put out a little plate of food, as if it was for them. Yeah, and those are all remedy practices. You can recite mantras for them. You can read the Dharma text and dedicate it to them. That's the remedy. Okay? So regret, refuse, refuge, and remedy, the 4 R's. Laura?
If they're still alive, but it's pointless trying to actually remedy the relationship, can we do that too?
Well, you can try, but you can do that too, 100%. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
As long as you let go of the ill will that's in your heart. Okay? You've got to try and remove the ill will and hatred and forgive. If you have forgiveness in your heart for them, then that's fine. You don't need, I've got enemies, I've got people I was in business with, people that cheated me, lied to me. I never want to see them again. But in my heart, I wish them well and I send them love. Okay? That's fine. Then you can do metta practices, loving kindness practices for them, but it doesn't mean you have to be friends with them. Okay? All right. That's all I can give today. I have to go and give my talk now. We'll carry on with the 4 powers next week. Okay? Cool. Let's just do, hi, Antoinette. Let's do a closing practice. We imagine that Buddha in our heart, that enlightened being in our heart center. We think of challenging people today, people that we don't want to see again, and we radiate our light from our heart to them, and we dedicate good energy and good karma so that they may be well and happy and safe and live in peace. And you might be gritting your teeth right now, but even if you fake it, you will make it one day. I'll sing a Tibetan prayer. Gewa di kewo kun, sunam yeshe zozo shin, sunam yeshe le junwe, damba kunya toba shok. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the highest bliss, which is without suffering. And may they come to rest in the great equanimity, which is free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. Namaste. So friends, next week I'll be in Cape Town. Come and say hi at Stellenbosch if you're there. I'm giving a talk there. That would be nice. If you can't make it next week, then I will be there on the 1st of April, around there as well, coming back to give another talk at Stellenbosch. So I've got a lot of talks planned all over the country at the moment, which is very exciting. But right now I've got to go. So thank you very much for attending, and we'll see you next Sunday. Saturday. Sorry, Saturday. Okay.
Thanks,
Bye.
Mark. All the best for the talk. Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, Tony.